Sup nerds, here's my RagnaLoardmon OTK featuring LordNightmon X deck profile. So spoilers, this is a purple deck, so prepare yourself. Starting off with our Tama, we are playing 4 Shoutmon from BT6. Your turn once per turn. When you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, draw 1. But this is by far the best one. The whole purpose of the engine is to just dig into your deck for the combo. And then for our rookies, we are playing 4 Goblimon from BT14. Inheritable, your turn once per turn. When one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, gain 1 memory. And then we are playing 4 Goblimon from BT3. All turns, your opponent can't gain memory except with Tamer effects. Floodgates are extremely important in this format if you guys haven't already noticed. So we're playing 4 of this. We're also playing 4 of this for another reason, which will come up when I show the level 4s. But very important rookie to have in this format if your color has access to them. Then we are playing 2 more Floodgates. 2 Shoutmon from BT8. All players can't reduce play cost. This literally doesn't impact a single card in our deck, which is really cool. We're not playing Anubis spoilers. So we can just have this on the field forever and not have to worry about it affecting us at all. And then a token Floodgate, we are playing 1 BT9 Pillon. All turns, players can't play Digimon by effects. This actually does affect us, but we can turn it off pretty easily. We do have the ability to Evo on top of this in this deck, which is actually pretty cool. Or we can just swing it into one of our opponent's suspended Digimon, or poke its security and hope it dies if it is impacting us. Usually, if you see this card, you will just hold it and then play it out the turn that you pop off on your opponent, unless this like impacts them so heavily that you just want to leave it on the field super early and force them to out it. But that is it. We were playing 11 rookies. On to our champions. 4 starter deck 10 Goblimon. So this is a 5 to hard drop and 3 to Evo, but it's actually kind of worth it. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a yellow Digimon card and a purple Digimon card among them, put the rest on the bottom of your deck. So that actually lets you search the Pillon, which is pretty cool, as well as other copies of itself along with another piece, because these guys are all yellow if you didn't notice. Your turn, when this Digimon would digivolve into a card with Archangel or Fallen Angel in its traits, reduce the memory cost of the Evo by 2. It just has so much synergy with the rest of the engine. It's actually really cool. So all of our level 5s are Fallen Angel, spoilers. So they all Evo for 1 or 0 if you have a proto form in your hand on top of the Goblimon. And then the end of turn inheritable is the true reason why we're playing it, despite all of the favorable interactions it has. End of your turn, you may DNA digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its Digivolution cost. DNA costs are still 0 unless you have something that's impacting you to force you to pay memory for it on your opponent's side of the field. And then we are playing 4 Deltamon from BT19. This is our Floodgate outer, and he Evos for 2 on top of Goblimon specifically, which is another reason we're playing 4 of that card, but Evos for 3 on everything else. What's cool about him is he's an on play, when digivolving or on deletion. By trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So because he trashes a card with his effect, if your opponent only has 1 Floodgate rookie that memory blocks, he actually Evos for 2 technically on top of our Goblimons as well, which is really nice. And Inheritable is blocker, which is cool. And then we are just playing 2 Dober X's from Ex5. On play, one of your Digimon gains retail until the end of your opponent's turn, and then when digivolving, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. And then if Dobermon or X antibodies in the sources, you get to trigger the on play, which does give the retail. And then the Inheritable, your turn once per turn. When an effect plays, one of your Digimon gain 1 memory. This is cool utility. The primary guys you actually are probably going to end up going into are either the Gado or the Delta, depending on if your opponent is playing Floodgates. But he's basically just the 3rd best champion you can play in this engine. And that is it. We're just playing 10 champions. On to our ultimates. We're playing 4 Lady Devimon from BT3. She Evos for 1 on top of our Gablimon. So when digivolving, draw 2, then trash 2 cards in your hand. That digs you super deep into your deck. And the Inheritable is actually really cool as well, since we do play options. So your turn once per turn, when you use an option card, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. A really powerful effect, especially when you can just activate proto form when this is in your sources and just pop one of your opponent's rookies for free. And then we are playing 4 Lady Dev X from EX7. Evos on top of Lady Dev for 0. On play / when digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, give one of their Digimon end of attack, delete this Digimon. Then if Lady Dev or X antibodies in this Digimon's sources, you may play 1 Vole and Zerdrucken token, which is a purple level 4 Digimon with 5000 DP with blocker and retail, which is really cool. This is basically like the defensive piece of the deck in addition to this inheritable, because some games you're not just going to draw the combo in the first like couple of turns, so you will need to buy some time, and playing that token out as well as giving one of your opponent's Digimon that effect will buy you the turns that are necessary a lot of the time. The inheritable is also really cool. Opponent's turn, once per turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon are deleted, you may play 1 level 4 or lower purple Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. Really cool to recycle this guy's effect, or play her out and search some more cards off your deck, or you can play one of your floodgates for free, whichever one impacts your opponent the most in that situation. But that's actually a really high utility inheritable too that does come up quite often. And that is it. We're just playing 8 ultimates. On to our 6s, we are playing 3 BT19 LordKnightmon. On play / when digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. That is not color specific. You can literally play anything. And then opponent's turn, once per turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon attack, you may change the attack target to one of your Digimon with the Royal Knight trait. So you can redirect into this guy if this guy's on the field next to this guy, just so you guys know, because they're both Royal Knights. But the combo, which I'll show you guys at the end of the video, he normally plays back the Goblimon out of your trash, assuming it's in there, which it should be if you've drawn the appropriate cards to allow you to OTK your opponent. But you can just play back floodgates or whatever, just the same concept as a Lady Dev X inheritable. And this guy also just provides us extra defense. And then we are playing 3 LordNightmon X from BT19. It goes on top of LordNightmon for 1. Collision, piercing, when digivolving, for each of your Digimon de-evo 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Then until the end of their turn, one of their Digimon can't evo. So you can basically like almost guarantee your opponent can't ace you on the turn that you go into this guy, which is pretty nice. And all turns while LordNightmon or X antibodies in this Digimon sources, all of your Digimon with Knightmon and their techs gain alliance and get 3000 DP. So for some of you that don't know, if you have this guy on the field next to this guy, he gives him 3000 DP in alliance, and that can come up, so that's something to keep in mind, that his effect does apply to everyone. A lot of people don't really read it and they just think he just gives it to himself. That is not the case, but this is the card you go into when you OTK your opponent. It's one of the cards you go into, I should say. But yeah, super broken card. Thank you, Bandai. And then we are playing 2 Shoutmon X5B from BT10. I'm gonna just not even read most of the effects. The only things that are semi-relevant are the fact that it has blocker and armor purge. You literally can't do any of this stuff, so I'm not even going to bother reading it. The main reason why we're playing him is because he's one of the best red and purple targets we can play for the Ragna. The fact that he does have blocker and armor purge obviously is extra time that you can buy yourself, although you're only playing 2, so I would only ever use that if you have both in your hand. But sometimes you're forced to do it, but it is nice to have that option. And that is it. We're just playing 8 level 6s. And on to our 7s. Hey, you guessed it. 2 RagnaLoardmon from Starter Deck 13. This card is still just so dumb. When it hits the field, it's basically game most of the time, assuming you built your deck for it. So DNA digivolves from a red level 6 and black level 6 for 0 memory. You can just pay 6 memory to evo into this guy, but you don't get most of his super disgusting effects. And so that is why we're playing this guy for the red target, and we are playing this guy for the black target. You can also use the regular LordKnightmon, but it's probably not going to be game if you do that. It can be, just depending on how the game's unfolded. When digivolving, Blitz, and then when DNA digivolving, for every 4 cards in Digimon's sources, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 20 or less and trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So for those of you that don't know, that is every single Digimon card in the game. The highest current play cost of Digimon is Death Xmon, which is 20. So he just pops everything. I'm not even sure why they put that play cost restriction in there. It should just say Digimon. I mean, let's be real. Are they really going to print a Digimon that costs more than 20? I mean, they might, but... And then all turns once per turn, when a card is removed from a player's security stack, unsuspend this Digimon. So what's cool about this is you can pass turn and then DNA into him using your Goblimon, and you blitz first and then delete and trash everything, and then you unsuspend from his all turns effect. So on the off chance that it isn't game, he's unsuspended on the field, which if you have blocker in your sources, which is a decent chance you might have, it makes it that much harder for your opponent to kill you on their turn. But usually when you go into this guy, it's just game. And that is it. We're just playing 2 of the fellers. He is the only non-searchable card off our wisdoms and trainings and Goblimons, but you draw so much and he's just a final puzzle piece that unless both of them are in security, you're going to be able to get to this whenever you do have the ability to combo into him. Then on to our options. We are playing 3 Protoform from Ex5 Security. Add this card to your hand, and then main, one of your Digimon without X antibody in its sources may digivolve into a Digimon card with X antibody trait in your hand with an evo cost reduced by 1. If it did evo, you tuck this as the bottom source. And then inheritable is all turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by one of your effects. This is a mandatory effect. From this Digimon sources, return 1 Digimon card to the hand and then place this card on top of their security. So you don't actually need Protoform as badly in this version as you do in the Dark Animal package, because getting the Cerberus X full effect is so important in that combo and that strategy that you just desperately need to dig into one of these in order to to get that effect. But this version, you don't really need it. The main thing you use it for is to evo into LordNightmon X for 0 on top of LordNightmon, or occasionally you will evo Lady Dev X for 0 on top of Goblimon using this effect. And then we are playing 4 Wisdom Trainings, promo 108, 2-cost option, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, add a purple card among them, rest on the bottom of your deck, put in battle area. Main delay, trash this card. One of your Digimon may evo into a purple Digimon card in the hand with the evo cost reduced by 2. So this is just our combo digger. And then 4 more combo diggers, purple memory boost, promo 40, 3-cost option, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add a purple Digimon card among them, put the rest on the bottom of your deck, put it in your battle area, and then main delay, trash it, gain 2 memory. Basically, you kind of just chill and raising most of the time and just set these up. And then once you have combo, you just promote and just kill your opponent. And that is it. We're just playing 10 options. All right, and now just to show you guys the OTK combo, let's say you're not worried about your opponent sticking a floodgate on you, and also floodgates don't really impact this deck that badly unless you have a bunch of memory boosts set up. So it's not really a big deal to evo your Goblimon and raising like this because it saves you memory whenever you evo. So you promote your Goblimon stack here, your Goblimon and Sunamon, evo into this lady for 1 memory, you draw for evo and then draw 2 more and then trash 2. You do want to get a Goblimon in trash. You don't have to, but it saves you memory. So let's just act like we're just discarding these 2 cards. And then you'll gain a memory from the Goblimon in this stack and then draw an extra card from Suno. Seems cool. Then we evo into Lady Dev X for 0 memory. Trigger her effect, give one of your opponents whatever, and then play a token out. And then this is assuming you're not passing turn with all of this stuff. You evo into LordNightmon for 3 memory, or reduced cost if you have a training or whatever. And then we will play Goblimon back from our trash. Goblimon with search top 3, yada yada yada, whatever. Then depending on what order you want to do this in, if you already have all the pieces in your hand, you can go ahead and do this. Trigger Proto, evo Lord Knight into LordNightmon X for 0. And then you can actually do this next part a couple different ways. You can either evo here for 1 memory, or you can trigger Protoform and evo here for 0. If depending, like it maybe you only have 0 memory, like you're at 0 right now and you need to evo into level 5 here. So you can do that. Or if you need an extra source, you can evo here for 1 and then trigger Protoform to evo here. It's still 0 memory, but you get an extra source here, assuming you're missing a source in this stack here, because spoilers, you do need 12 total sources in order to kill your opponent with the combo. So we'll just say we did both for S's and G's. So you swing here and then trigger Alliance, and then this is 2 checks at 23,000 DP. Assuming you survive both checks, you then evo into this little fella for 4 memory. It'll pass turn. You can trigger either one of your Goblimon inheritables to DNA. You DNA into this bad boy right here. He blitzes at security and then he trashes and deletes 1, 2, and 3. And then you have an extra source because of the extra Protoform, like I said. And then he unsuspends from his own effect. So you delete 3 more Digimon, and then he is swinging for lethal at this point because you've trashed the other 3 security cards your opponent had. And assuming you cleared their board, they have no more blockers. This is just game. Very awesome combo. I love RagnaLord OTK decks. For those of you that have been following the channel, you've seen me do it with Black Red Greymon Tribal before, but I did want to build this version. I thought it was really cool. So this was the winner of a members only vote as the deck I'm going to be playing in locals this week, and I will be posting gameplay matches next week of this deck, and once those go live, they'll be in the pinned comment below. And if you guys are interested in voting in future polls or seeing videos early, because members are actually seeing this before anybody else, consider becoming a member. The join button is down where the subscribe button would be if you haven't already subscribed. And I do want to give a shout out. This deck list is inspired by LMAO from Eagle ATX Gaming's locals. I definitely tweaked it a little bit to my liking, but it was definitely inspired by him. I saw his deck list a few weeks ago for the first time and immediately was interested in building it because I love Ragna OTK decks. So shout out to you. But if you guys have any questions, anything I didn't address, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy seeing this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.